Hey guys, Metal here. Today I'm going to be doing a character guide for the offensive hero Pharah. As usual, I'm going to be giving you hard numbers as well as some general tips of how to play the character. So to start, Pharah has a base health of 600. Her primary weapon is the rocket launcher, which has 6 shots per magazine, takes 1 second to reload. Her rockets do 120 damage on a direct hit, or 80 damage maximum for splash damage, with 13 being the minimum. So that is, if you direct hit, you do 120 damage. If you hit like literally right next to them but not a direct hit, that's 80, and if you hit at the edge of the range, that is 13 damage. You cannot headshot with the rocket launcher. The maximum amount of damage Pharah can inflict on herself with the rocket launcher is 40, so even though you can go up to 80 in splash damage, you'll only ever receive 40. So I mean, obviously the rocket launcher is a projectile weapon that's good for breaking up groups with its splash damage and high direct hit damage. You're also really good at pestering snipers and destroying turrets. Her main movement ability is the jump jet. It causes her to launch up into the air quite a big ways. I'd say it's probably one of the, she can get up into the air farther than anyone else in the game. Genji, Hanzo, anyone else, she can fly up into the air, and she is able to stay in the air because of her jetpack. So she has a limited amount of fuel with the jetpack, but it does start to regenerate after 2 seconds of not using it and goes right back up to normal. You can't really jump very high with the jetpack. You need it for you need the jump jet ability to do that, but you can use it to hover pretty well. Her other ability, her E ability, is the concussive blast. It shoots a little wrist rocket type thing and knocks everyone around. It doesn't do any damage, but this is really good for breaking up groups. I like to use it for shooting behind a Reinhardt shield and knocking everyone around behind it, so that Reinhardt can't really protect his teammates very well anymore. It's also useful if you're up in the air to give yourself like a second rocket jump type deal. Lastly, her ultimate is called the Barrage. You shoot rockets everywhere. You do 30 rockets a second of firing, and you do 40 damage per rocket, which gives you quick math here, gives you about 1200 damage per second. Is that right? I think that's about right, which is a lot of damage. So obviously when you do this, you jump up in the air, Pharah yells out, "Justice reigns from above." You're going to get focused, but if you can hold those rockets onto someone, they're going to die pretty quick. Of course, not every single rocket is going to hit because of the ability, because the rockets kind of spray it everywhere, so you're obviously not going to get that perfect 12,000 damage per second, but it is a lot of damage, and there are very few enemies in the game that will withstand it. So the main issue with Pharah, her main weakness, is the fact that she basically sits still in the air when she's rocketing around. She doesn't move very quickly, especially when she's doing her ultimate, so enemies with hit scan weapons like Widowmaker or Soldier 76 can counter her pretty hard. And like I said before, she's good at breaking up big groups of enemies, and she's good at fighting enemies with close range based weapons like Mei or Reaper. She's also very effective at breaking out enemies from behind a Reinhardt shield. So I think that's one of the main things I wanted to cover today with Widowmaker. She's a really strong character in the right hands. She can also get countered really hard by a strong Widowmaker. And as usual, I'd say if you're having trouble with her, to just go ahead and try someone else for a bit. You know, there's one level of practice with a character, but there's also the level of sometimes you're just getting countered and you can't continue to play that character in that mission. Hero switching is a critical part of Overwatch. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this guide. I hope you find my tips useful in your gameplay. If you want to see more of these Overwatch guides with hard numbers to back them up in the future, go ahead and subscribe. And if you really enjoy my content, please support me on Patreon, and you can always like my page on Facebook. And if you want to talk to me, the best way to do that would be to join the official Discord, and that would be the best way to either play with me or talk to me. Have a great day, guys.